Hello, my name's Ben and welcome to our ITIQ Group YouTube channel. This video is going to be all about Microsoft Authenticator and how to use it and why to use it. Authenticator is a free app, free to download on Android or iOS, and effectively it provides us with a much more secure way of logging into the applications we use every day. The reason it's so important is, well, two reasons. One is for security, because there are fraudsters are getting increasingly good at doing things like spoofing SIM numbers and so on and so forth. So authenticating via a text message is no longer the best way of doing things. And also for that reason, companies like Microsoft are making it more and more difficult to use those other methods and are kind of pushing us down that path of using Authenticator, which is best practice. Also, Authenticator can be used with a variety of applications. It's not limited to Microsoft 365, but I do understand and I do get lots of questions from people the first time they log in, and it can be confusing in terms of how to use it, how to set it up, and how you can get the most from it. So that's what this video is all about. Thanks very much for watching, and if you find it useful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified. Thank you. So let's get hands-on with Microsoft Authenticator and look at initially how we're going to use it to set up and work in conjunction with Microsoft 365. So the first thing to do is to open a web browser, and let's go to office.com to open Microsoft 365. Okay, the first thing it's going to do is prompt you to log in and put in your password. So I'm going to type in my password, and now, because we've not logged in before, it's saying action required, and it's saying my organization requires additional security information, and this is talking about getting Authenticator set up. It also says we've got 14 days until this is required, so you can defer this, but I'd suggest you do it as early on as possible. So if you've got any problems, you can work it out with your IT department. So we're going to click next. Right, now we've clicked next, our screen tells us Microsoft Authenticator, start by getting the app. So we're going to go to our mobile phone, we need to go to the App Store, we need to search for Microsoft Authenticator and make sure it's the publisher is Microsoft Corporation, and we're going to install it. So just install Microsoft Authenticator on your phone, and then when you've done that, click next on the screen. It says set up your account, so basically we're going to follow the instructions. The really important thing on this screen to note is where it says work or school. So if you've got a personal Microsoft account, like a 365 account for home use, that would be a personal, and it will say personal in the screen. It's just really important not to get the two mixed up, because that's where I think a lot of confusion comes in getting this initial setup done. If you're working with any sort of account that's related to a company, it's definitely going to be work or school. So just make note of that. Click next. Open up the Authenticator app on your mobile device. Now, the first thing to do is, once you've opened the Authenticator app, you'll see at the top right-hand corner of the screen, there's a plus button. So we're going to click the plus button, and we're presented with three different types of account. I've explained, I think, personal and work account. I'll come back and talk about other accounts later, but just to note, Authenticator is not just limited to looking after Microsoft accounts. You can actually put Facebook and Google and other stuff in there too. So we're going to choose work or school account, and now it's going to give us a few options. We can sign in. We're not going to do that. We've got a QR code, as we can see that the funny pattern that's displayed on the screen is a QR code. So we're going to click scan QR code. Our phone will then give us a little image on the camera. We can hold it up, scan the QR code, and the account will be added at the bottom of the list. If you've already got some stuff configured in Authenticator, it will get put at the bottom. And if we click into that account, we can just see it's all there, and we can see it also provides us with a one-time passcode. I'll explain more about that later. Anyway, we'll go back to the instructions on the screen. We've done that, so we'll click next. Once we click next, we'll get a notification almost instantaneously through to our Authenticator app. and it says, are you trying to sign in? And it will confirm our username, and it says, enter the number shown to sign. So the number on our screen in this case is 43. So I'm going to type in 43 and click yes. It then looks at my Face ID, which is that part about linking the phone and my identity to who's logging in. And it says notification approved. So we'll click next once more. It's telling us it was successfully registered. That's fantastic. We'll click done. That's it. So, and we're now logged in. So the next time we log in, the most likely thing is it's going to do exactly the same thing. It will present us with a number on a screen that we have to type into the Authenticator app, and that will then log us in. Sometimes there's a variation on that when it might pop up and it says, is it you trying to log in? And it will give you a yes or no, but more often than not, it's going to be a number that comes up. And as I say, this really is replacing both SMS and email verification for obvious reasons. It really connects three different parts of your identity: your username, your password, your device, your password on your device, etc. So that's pretty much it for getting set up with Microsoft 365. We'll go through some of the other bits and pieces now. So just having a look at this app, I'll explain a bit about, whilst we're looking at this menu, the one-time passcode. So with Microsoft, more often than not, as I say, it will come up with a prompt on the screen. When you're logging in with different accounts, like maybe it's a Sony account or maybe it's a Facebook account or something else, very often it will ask you for the one-time passcode. And in that case, what you would do is the application you're using online will say, please enter the passcode. You come onto your Authenticator app, you find the right account, you click into it, you see the one-time passcode here. Lasts 60 seconds, so you've got to be a bit quick, and you've got to look at the timer. For instance, right now it's on 6 or 7 seconds, so I might want to wait until that goes back to 60 before I start typing it in. Right, that's reset. I beg your pardon, it's 30 seconds, not 60. That's reset. So we can now see, in this case, it would be 340-849, and I'd type that in and it logged me into the application. So that's pretty much all there is to say on that. I will come back and just talk about adding a different type of account. So adding, as you'll see, the last option on the menu is adding other accounts. So if you do want to keep all your accounts in one place, which is great, just use that other for when you're using Google or Facebook or any other type of account, rather than one of the first two, because those are specifically for Microsoft. Other than that, I think we'll have a little look up on the top left of the screen. You'll see the 3 lines, which we call the hamburger. So if you click the hamburger, there are 2 probably key things to look at here. One is rearrange accounts, and that's really useful because if we've got a lot of accounts in Authenticator, it gives us the option of putting the ones we use most at the top, just by clicking on the hamburger to the right of the account and dragging that account up or down according to where we want it. That's as simple as that. The other thing to look at in the hamburger, which is really important, is the settings menu. So in the settings menu, the most important thing to know is backup. So you can see I've got mine set up for iCloud backup. Now, it's really important to back it up, because if your phone got damaged beyond repair, or if you buy a new phone and you erase your old one and you forget to transfer the stuff, you're going to lose these authentication codes, and that can be a real issue. With the Microsoft stuff, it's not so bad because you can phone your IT department, they'll reset it, you can get back on. With some other stuff, especially third parties, that's much more difficult. And what you'll find when you register with third parties very often is they will give you a whole list of what they call recovery codes, and they'll say, please note down these recovery codes. What I'd suggest you do is take a screenshot, or write them down, or in some way copy and paste them somewhere safe that you know you can get to them, because if you end up in this situation where you've got a new phone for some reason and you've not had all of your authentications backed up, that can be a bit of a headache. So I would strongly suggest setting the backup in here, and when you do set up those third-party applications, make sure you keep those recovery codes. This is only in relation to stuff that isn't Microsoft, essentially. I think the last few bits to look at on the Authenticator app are just so that I can very briefly explain what the items are across the very bottom of the screen, you'll see Authenticator, passwords, addresses, and verified IDs. These are all topics for other videos because they're topics in their own right, really. But passwords essentially is a section where you can have your Authenticator act as a password manager. So instead of saving your password perhaps to Google Chrome or something similar, you can keep them within the Authenticator itself, which is more secure. Addresses is a place where you can have addresses that get filled out on web pages, etc. And verified IDs is slightly more complicated, but verified IDs is about creating a digital identity that follows you around instead of it being a Microsoft identity, or so on and so forth. That's a conversation for another day. So I hope this video has been useful. Hopefully we've explained what Microsoft Authenticator is. It's free, it's really good. It's going to improve your security. It has uses beyond 365, although it's obviously integrated with 365. And please do make any comments down below, and please do like, subscribe, and get notified. Thank you for watching.